Smart Means Business. Hope you're doing okay. It's Friday, 7th October 2022. And of course, as a new day starts up, you create opportunities, of which these opportunities will help you in the long run. And speaking of opportunities, there are chances of you to invest your money safely and more secure with Zabu. Zabu says you can use the USSD code on MTN *292# and you follow the prompts. But first you need to register, get an account by using your NIN, and you follow the steps as usual. And then after registrations and getting your account, investing starts in the next 24 hours. Zabu is powered by Altex East Africa, and you can follow more on that proceeding from there. Zabu says, my money, my future. It is a situation where we have to save for investment. And the markets on Zabu open at 8:15 a.m. and close at 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time on a daily. And you can enter any amount if you want to invest at a minimum of 15,000 Ugandan shillings. Isn't that easy and simple? Yes, it is. With the comfort of your phone, and you can definitely start up your account and invest good money. All right, now that aside, we head into our last segment of the show today, and of which we look back at some of the top topics and stories of the week as they've been transpiring throughout here on Smart Means Business. And joining me is Barija Andrew, who has been in here for a topic of discussion as well. And let's go deeper in understanding what has been making headlines throughout the show this week.
Yes. Of course, right now we have the International Trade Fair going on at UMA, and of course quite a very interesting activities that are taking place. I was there yesterday, and it was really so interesting because remember we have about 920 exhibitors, and which among those 120 foreigners, you know, from other countries. And of course, I happened to get in touch with those Egypt, you know, so Egyptians, Indians that they are showcasing their products right there. So you can see it's really something so remarkable, and they actually say they are making money, you know, making some good profit. Because I was wondering what's that secret they found about Uganda that they could actually come in here and they showcase their materials, but actually they're making some good money right there regarding that. And the 2 years when the trade show has not been there, it's been quite a big hindrance in their business, because majority of them, that's where they get to be known.
I really want to also understand how is the turn up so far? How are people turning up to this event? How is it? Do we have a number of Ugandans already in there to see what is being exhibited, or the turn up is still low?
The turn up is quite fair. Okay. Because, you know, as you know, it's been 2 years ever since it's just been reopened, because we last had one in 2019. So the turn-up was fair, though there is an estimation of at least 100,000 people showing up on the ground on a daily basis.
Yeah. And of course, as you can see, there are a number of students that normally go in there for the trade fair. A number of traders do showcase quite a number of things. And if you're to look at the trade that is actually ongoing and the trend, with the mere fact that over the last 2 years we did have the UMA fair, it is because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and now it returns with a banger. Though you may still think, just like the previous expos, it is always during the last days of the
expo days when
that
people
it has a huge turn-up. More so with the weekend coming up, and then we have a public holiday on Sunday, Independence. Normally it is during even Independence ceremonies that we have this fair coming to an end.
Yeah, and actually we also expect some Kenyan delegates to be there. President Ruto.
All right.
Not certain when he's going to come in.
Okay.
Just anticipations. So you can see how prepared people were, because probably they knew that people's, let me say, desire for this was a little bit down. So there ought to be quite a number of measures to ensure that people actually feel inspired to get back there.
And of course, this exhibition will be coming to a closure on Monday. That will be 10th of October. So you definitely believe that on Monday is when the traders or different business-minded people will be closing down everything that they are showcasing to leave their stalls, to unpack everything in those stalls. So as you've definitely seen in there. But besides that, that particular one is still ongoing. That is the UMA at the UMA grounds in Lugogo, the International Trade Fair and Expo. Now, also among the other key topics, we also looked at the agriculture in Uganda, the agriculture industry in Uganda, where we've got to realize that the price of fish feeds imported from Egypt and Israel and Netherlands is actually having a difference in prices. Maybe one may think it's because of the quality of the fish feeds that comes through and all that.
Well, regarding that particular story, it could be, when I talk about the value addition of fish feeds, first of all, agriculture in Uganda is, we don't have quite so many aquaculture centers, I'll say that, though it's promising regarding that. And fish is one of the most powerful exports we can actually really put out there to the world if we really put it and give it the most of the best. And of course, there have been rules regarding fishing. For example, regulating now, was it last year? But no, it was last year. Regarding, we had issues regarding the Nile perch exportation, and that caused issues amongst the people that were dealing into that industry. So that shows you the potential the industry has once given much attention. If it can bring people to actually express their views, saying that why are you limiting this? So, and of course this can't happen unless you feed what you export right there. So adding the value on, because this can be like a competitive advantage we can have. So the competitive advantage, we should make sure that we give it a favorable environment for it to thrive.
And if you had to date back 69 years back, 69, that is 1953, there has been tremendous growth within the agriculture sector, and currently the country produces around 50,000 tons of fish per annum. However, the 18% value-added tax imposed on fish feeds imported hinders the growth of the sector, because when you look at the countries where we import most of the fish feeds include Egypt, Israel and Netherlands. From Egypt, the price of fish feeds goes for around 6,000 in Egypt, 6,000 shillings per kilogram of fish feeds, and if we were to import from Israel, it will go for 7,000. Then in the Netherlands, it will go for 8,000 shillings per kilogram. So that is how the sector is faring so far in there. And then besides that, if we were to look at, lastly, one of our topics of discussion this week, some of the top stories that we've had here that have posed a lot of discussions as well, was regarding the high prices of building materials, where cement, steel bars, and then of course other things that are actually coming in are affecting the sector.
Yeah, of course. The high prices of building materials started, I think I was at the beginning of this year. And of course we've seen its effect on that, because now you can see right there that resulting into the importation of fake materials, and of course having impacts on the economy. As you can see, quite a lot of properties being lost right there into that clip. So I believe, but of course all this is pointed to the global crisis. I mean, I'm like the conflict going on in Russia and Ukraine, everything, but we are trying to understand why these materials actually are going high. Because look at that. That's a big, enormous loss, you know. And of course, infrastructures define a lot in terms of a country's growth and economic development. What do you think about that?
Well, and also on the other hand, we've been having a very huge challenge with our construction, the construction sector in Uganda, because of the building materials. And it also forced Uganda National Bureau of Standards earlier this year to actually hit the market to try and look for the fake market products, fake materials, construction materials on the market, construction, building, all that, the iron bars, because these are some of the reasons as to why we've been having cases of collapsing buildings in the country. And if you're to look at that, the only way to prevent that is to try and look and see, is the issue with our local manufacturers, or is the issue a challenge, or is this challenge coming in from the imported materials and all that?
I think because the prices of the what we can say, the original construction materials are rising high. And Uganda, where we are right now, everyone is looking for survival. So such cases are inevitable. So the pricing the pricing is the leading factor to that. I would say that.
All right. And I do believe some of those are some of the things that we've been having throughout this week. And wherever you've been catching up the show, you've been able to see one or two things, either from the news recap or two, maybe from the topic of discussion and on-ground coverage like we did with the Uganda Manufacturers Association grounds in Lugogo with the ongoing trade fair, international trade fair in the country. And of course, that is a weekly trade fair that happens once every year. And it only did happen the last 2 years due to COVID-19 and because there were restrictions of movement. And that is one of the reasons as why it did not happen. But besides that, it now brings us to the end of our show, and I'll give Barija Andrew to give you more of his last few as we are winding up today.
Well, and of course, we are almost at the dawn, or can I say the dusk of the year, coming to the end of the year. Of course, like I always say, get back to the drawing board, see what you've always been saying that, hey, this year I want to achieve this, whether you're achieving it. And also the other aspect is, do you have a vision? Do you have the direction of what you're doing? Why are you doing what you're doing, if I may ask you? So ask yourself such questions. When you get the answers, it will be the key to your success.
All right. And that is Barija Andrew. You can get him today still with Smart Tech to take you through all the details to do with technology. Today, in our topic of discussion, we're looking at cybersecurity since 1962, that journey. But also tonight is Farm Smart coming up, and today they will be looking at value addition in the mangoes. Of course, we've got to realize there's a lot of products that are made out of these mangoes. How then can you, as a farmer farmer dealing in mangoes, benefit from your sweat? That and more with Chris Haman Chitaka tonight in Farm Smart, in the new episode of Farm Smart. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko, and been here with Barija Andrew, and of course driving your business. GoTV channel 394, DSTV is channel 372, and you can get us on social media. YouTube is Smart24 TV Live, Facebook, Smart24 TV Official, Instagram, Smart24_TV, then Twitter, Smart24 TV, and then LinkedIn as well. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And of course, we continue to drive your business. Keep it Smart24 TV. Have a blessed morning. Good day.
That this year, we've not yet met exactly what you need as exhibitors, simply because the first 2-3 days we've had a high influx of students who are here only to get the knowledge but not the potential to buy what we have, which we feel that we've not yet gotten that connection. But we hope maybe the remaining 2-3 days we can have the real potential buyers of these tractors. And this year is quite unique in its own way, because for the last 2 years, as you are aware, that we've had a COVID case which had not allowed us to exhibit. It really affected most of the businesses. And this year, everyone hoped that this is the chance for them to at least showcase what they have and be able to make some money out of it. So we are hoping that starting tomorrow, up to Monday when it is closing, we should be able to receive the right people into the show, and the ones who can be able to at least purchase some of the things that we brought.
Are the taxes friendly?
You said the taxes?
Yeah, are they friendly?
Not really. I wouldn't say yes, but I would have loved that if the management of UMA tried to reduce the rate of entry to this place. I think it would make more sense business-wise. I think to let in other people who are willing to come and see what is happening. Because if you look at it in monetary terms, you're spending 10,000 every day to enter here, okay? And you want to look at everything that is on these grounds. You'll not be able to see it. You come in and you're able to see a few, you go back. And you're saying I have to go back tomorrow. Then you look at your pocket. You don't have that money to pay and come in. So I think if it is reduced to like 5,000, everyone can afford. Someone can just budget for 30,000 and say, for the days that I'm going to be there, let me be paying 5,000 every day. I think that can work for everyone.
So far, to me, we have met our expectations because people have been visiting our stores and asking more about Sekaja Agro Farms. Yeah. So if I'm to rate from 0 to 100%, so far we are at 70% meeting our expectations.
Right.
Yes.
Commissioner, 2 years back, we didn't exhibit because of COVID-19. How did it affect you?
Well, COVID-19 affected us in different ways, but as Sekaja Agro Farms, we started in 2020. So we started within COVID. So we had never exhibited before, so I cannot compare. But we were affected, of course, the demand for chicken dropped and everything. So that's when we moved from, because before we were doing live birds, that's when we moved into dressed chicken, where we can store the chicken and sell it later.
That